Devin Haney and his father Bill spent the lead up to the Ryan Garcia fight telling everybody that would listen about how easy they would make this look. They talked about how Ryan hasn't improved at all since the amateurs and how Devin was now on a different level and how he would show everyone on April 20th. I believe the direct quote was, "It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to make it look easy." Devin was so confident that he looked at the victory as a foregone conclusion. To him, this fight was just a stepping stone to a bigger showdown against Gervonta Tank Davis. And after his dismantling of Ryan, he fully expected the boxing community to pressure Tank into making the fight. But he ended up literally falling flat on his face in front of thousands of people, and in this video, I'm going to break down why he deserved it. Devin's career has been defined by trying to be something that he just wasn't in a multitude of ways, and in this case, he just flew too close to the sun. And in doing so, he tried to gleefully take advantage of a person that he once called a friend that was really in a bad place. Had he been successful, the absolute best and most favorable way to describe what happened would have been a grimy way to do business. But before we get into all of that, let's briefly go over the history between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Devin and Ryan knew each other since they were 9 years old, competing against one another in the amateur circuit. Considering the fact that he's not known for his superb boxing skills currently, it might surprise some people to know that Ryan was actually the man in the amateurs. By the time he turned pro, he had a record of 215 wins and 15 losses and was a 15-time national amateur champion. So keeping that in mind, it's not shocking that the first time that Devin and Ryan met, Ryan beat him pretty easily. However, eventually Devin caught up, and once they both left the amateurs, their win and loss record against one another was at an even 3-3. Devin himself amassed an impressive record of 130 victories and 8 losses, and also won several national titles, including the prestigious 2015 Golden Gloves Championship. Both boxers were looked at as being extremely talented, with Haney being fast with solid fundamentals, and Ryan being fast with huge power, especially his left hook, which has always been his signature punch. In fact, Ryan claims to have given Haney his first 8 count, but it's important to note that in the amateurs, you don't necessarily have to be knocked down to get an 8 count. Up until recently, the rivalry had been described as a friendly one, as the two had grown up with each other and had some similarities in the way that they were brought up. The overarching one being that they were both trained and managed by their fathers. Henry Garcia trained Ryan out of the garage since the age of 7, and once Devin moved from Oakland to Las Vegas, Bill had him training out of the infamous Mayweather Boxing Club. Devin and Ryan were the same size, same age, and competed in the same circles, and at one point they even called each other friends.
I know Ryan really well. We even, as kids, went to like Circus in Vegas together. We went to the amusement park together.
And then they take us to Circus. They get the unlimited wristbands. I don't know how, I never even knew they had unlimited wristbands back then.
But things changed once they turned pro. Even though Devin was very talented as a boxer, he ran into some major issues when it came to becoming a superstar and a household name. He had low marketability because he wasn't relatable or didn't appeal to any specific crowd. And on top of that, his fights had very little appeal to the casual viewer because he had almost no power in his hands. So it was one dull boxing masterclass performance after another. And by comparison, Ryan came into the pros with a huge fan base that he built through his YouTube channel and social media, and every single fight of his ended in a spectacular knockout. And not surprisingly, these issues with Devin not being able to cross over never sat right with Bill and Devin. Whether it's good or it's bad, the fact remains that at the end of the day, boxing is an entertainment business, and you can be the greatest technical boxer in the world, but if you're not attracting interest, nobody's gonna care. So they made a decision that they were gonna turn Devin into a star by any means necessary, and initially this had nothing to do with Ryan. They just took the approach of believe it before you achieve it and went around acting like Devin was already the man and everyone needed to fight him.
But look how much money I make, more than you.
No, you don't.
Okay, Eddie,
No, you
Eddie,
don't,
do we want to ask Eddie?
No, you
Do we
don't.
want to ask Eddie?
You talk about followers.
All right then.
This is the problem with society today. You see what I'm saying? You see, that's the problem with society today.
Exactly. So,
it's all about followers.
Yeah, okay.
It's not about followers. That's why you guys fake it till you make it, right?
Make what? What are you talking about?
You've always
you want to make
faked it
the
till
fight
you
happen
make
or
it.
not?
But realistically speaking, there was just no financial incentive to fighting Devin, as he didn't bring a huge fan base to the table but would not budge on the revenue split. And while he framed this as fighters avoiding him, he did the exact same thing to Shakur Stevenson by offering him a revenue split of 75-25 in his favor. This type of split would be difficult to justify even when it was an undeniable superstar like Floyd Mayweather fighting against a less popular opponent. But Devin Haney wasn't even popular. His fight against Vasily Lomachenko with the undisputed lightweight title on the line only did $150,000 100,000 pay-per-view buys. By comparison, the Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia fight did 1.2 million buys with no title on the line. A 75-25 revenue split would be more justifiable in a fight with Tank and Devin, not Devin and Shakur. But this didn't stop Bill and Devin from constantly chasing after Tank and bringing up Tank in every single interview.
Hey, don't mention Tank's name because he don't want it. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're really good. We don't think about Tank
or any of the other guys, I guess.
Shout out to C4 and not Tank.
Hey Bill, you got 2 knockdowns.
You got questions about Tank?
You got 2 knockdowns.
Questions about Tank?
They talk about how a 17-year-old Devin made Tank quit in sparring, a story that was seemingly told out of context as Tank was extremely out of shape and almost knocked Devin out. This was confirmed by Adrian Broner, who was present during the sparring session.
Devin was 17 at the time. They get in there. They was, it was very competitive. And then Tank hit Devin. Boom, boom. And Devin went like, boom, boom. And then he hit him again, boom, boom. And I jumped in the ring. Because he's 17. This ain't going to fall on nobody but whoever's there. You know what I'm saying? So I jump in the ring. Once I jump in, everybody, Bill start jumping in. And then it was like, about Billions versus they people or whatever. And it was straight mayhem, and then it all went back down, and me and Bill exchanged some words or whatever. And he wasn't wrong. That's his son, so I get it. And we exchanged words or whatever. And they went back to sparring. Of course, Devin was in more shape. So he started getting off on Tank a little bit, but that fight would have been over with. Eight ounce gloves.
No headgear.
No headgear.
But Bill went to an even more ridiculous level and claimed that Devin made Mayweather himself quit in sparring and quit the sport of boxing altogether.
He should have showed the sparring video of him and Devin. Yeah. What? Now, why he's showing all this sparring video? Yeah, show the sparring. And it was 6-0. It wasn't close. It was like Floyd was looking in the mirror when I told him. How long ago was that? It was before the Conor McGregor fight when he finally decided that he could no longer be in the boxing with no real fighters. Devin is the one that stamped that. He knew that the torch had to be passed, and he passed it to Devin. I mean, because it was either forced or it is what it is right now.
Basically, Bill and Devin were chasing a money fight without yet being a money fight themselves. Some have pointed out that Devin was so obsessed with Tank that he may have even started emulating him in hopes of becoming more popular. He got his legs tattooed just like Tank, and he started to become more aggressive and go for knockouts, even though knockouts are just not for him. Devin Haney just doesn't have natural punching ability, even against lightweight fighters, most of whom he had a 15 to 20 pound weight advantage over. And this cost him in the Jorge Linares fight when he almost got put out in round 10. But no matter what he did, he could not secure a Tank fight, so the next logical step would be to fight a former Tank opponent, somebody equally as popular but not as tough of a challenge. And that somebody, of course, was Ryan Garcia. And unlike Devin and Shakur, the vastly more popular Ryan was willing to give Devin a 55-45 split. For Devin, whose last pay-per-view against Regis Prograis did a measly 50,000 buys, this was a gift. Not only was Ryan a pay-per-view star and a previous Tank opponent, but this was going to be easy as he was going through every single issue imaginable, from divorce to public battles with his promoter to mental health and substance abuse issues. Ryan was looked at as a wounded animal and an easy fight with a big name, and Devin intended to take full advantage of that. And they were going to juice this for all there was. Immediately, Devin made up some fake beef about Ryan not respecting his religion.
Nah, he said some stuff about my religion that like he cannot come back from, and he knows what he said.
Can I ask what he said?
Nah, I don't even want to say it.
You don't want to repeat it?
He knows what he said, and he knows who he said it to. He didn't say it to me. He said it to somebody, and that got back to me. So it's like, now I got to make an example out of him. This is bigger than me. This is for Allah. This is for all the Muslims around the world. You spoke about my religion. You spoke down on my religion. So now I'm going to make an example out of you.
And did he speak about this like in relation to you or just in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Recently?
Yeah.
Okay. And someone told you?
Yeah.
Who told you?
Somebody.
Okay.
He knows. He knows.
Is it a good source? Like meaning, like was it someone who was trying to stir the pot, or legit? Like
No.
this person?
No, it's just
Legit.
no. It's
And even when Ryan publicly stated that he had the utmost respect for his religion and would never say anything like that, Devin continued to harp on the issue. And Ryan was clearly unwell, drinking, smoking weed, and obviously in a manic state.
Oh, I'm drunk? Say less. At the end of the day, it goes like this. I was on the KD trail, and I told the women, do you support pedophiles? She looked me in the eyes and says, absolutely, with a thumbs up. That is crazy. And yes, I'm running for president. I'm not even kidding. This one, hey, I'm gonna take a toast to all the haters. Empty, drank it all myself.
Even if you agree with some of the things that he was saying, you can't really argue that clips like this show a mentally stable individual.
Yo, Andrew.
Hey, bro. All right, talk to us.
Bro, I don't give a bro. They held me down and they made me watch little kids get. I don't give a anymore.
Where?
Oh my God.
Bro, they took me to the woods, bro, and they tied. I'm not joking, bro. I have proof, bro. I don't give a. Bro, I will show you every video you could ever believe. Bohemian Grove is real. They tied me down and they made me watch, dog. I absolutely don't give a anymore. Yes, I lost it. They're little kids.
He doesn't want to take us all, so let's go. Come on, Ryan. He doesn't want to take us.
Come on, fuck this guy.
Bro, this dude, dude.
Who?
Bro,
You do know
you know the higher elites, bro. You already know who they are, bro.
No, you know what?
You know the path
Andrew.
you're going down is dangerous, my friend.
I don't give a. I don't give a. They can't touch me. I'm a god.
Well, that's the first point of contention because I care about you a lot, and I can assure you from my own personal experience that they can touch you, which is the
Bro,
worst part
no,
about
they
it.
can't, bro. All right, so come touch me, you bitch.
You have proof
I don't
of these
give-
things. You have proof of this on your phone?
Yes, of course I do. What the you talking about? Of course. If Alex could get a video from the Bohemian Grove, of course I could.
He was bloated, rambling, and glassy-eyed in every appearance, and people started to get legitimately concerned. Even Rolly Romero, a notorious boxing troll and somebody that had issues with Ryan in the past, came out and said that he needs help.
All I know is he's going through shit right now, and y'all need to be there for him instead of slandering him.
It got so bad that the New York State Athletic Commission ordered a mental health evaluation. But this didn't deter Devin at all. He just talked about how he was going to stop Ryan and get him out of boxing. If anything, he seemed energized by the fact that Ryan seemed to be in such a bad state. Bill would claim that Ryan's just playing it up for the cameras in order to save face, but moments like these showed what Devin really thought.
Something is wrong with this mother. I'm gonna tell you, nah, something wrong with him. This shit not normal. This shit is not normal.
That's what happens when you face the Devin the Dream Haney.
And if you paid attention to what Bill was saying outside of the press conferences, his focus was still on Tank, showing that they were completely looking past Ryan. After Ryan released the sparring footage between Devin and Tank that backed up Adrian Broner's account, he got into a beef with Adrian Broner.
You got in my business with that sparring, and you know you wasn't supposed to get in my business because I was betting against your daddy.
Man, I'm not worried about that.
Hold on,
I just told what I seen.
Didn't tell the story about what really happened. Is because
I did tell the story what happened.
Okay, well, what happened after that?
What happened after what?
When you jumped in the ring.
After Tank had your son out, and I
No.
stopped all that.
And I told you what I did. Hey, listen, you got about that ring though, didn't you? After that, and I got my money.
Man, I ain't worried about that. All I know is 8 ounces, no headgear, out. Ryan going through some problems, right? Y'all fight me. Y'all fight me. We'll be ready. Y'all fight me. That's what you do. You. Doing this.
I would take, listen,
That's
I
what
would take
hey,
no more pleasure
hey,
in
quit
crime.
talking.
If
Hey,
Devin-
Ryan
if
going
Devin
through
don't-
some mental problems. Y'all fight me, you. Yeah, that's what y'all do. Y'all fight me.
This was obviously done out of frustration as they attempted to paint a narrative that was proven to be false. And Bill loves to spin narratives. That's his strategy for getting Devin attention, so much so that he set up a dinner with all the biggest boxing channels on YouTube, possibly making sure that the questions asked would always be in line with whatever promotion they wanted the fight to have.
Once again, you monkeys is mad. We having a mob dinner. You see what it is. You see what it is. And guess what? Blue is paying for it, so don't ask me. Don't ask nothing about nobody giving Blue the money. Blue is taking care of it. Yeah.
Shout out to the super chat.
Yeah. Shout out to all the super chats. Yeah. You know, we
Oysters, shout out to Blue.
Yeah, you see what it is. Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
Bill also needlessly continued to antagonize one half of Golden Boy Promotions, Bernard Hopkins, to the point where they almost got into it at the weigh-ins. After this, Bill gave an interview saying that Devin was coming in to seriously injure Ryan.
Hey man, listen. Whatever happened to Ryan Garcia, after that, I'm sending Devin in to do bodily harm to him. Everybody, I'm telling you, put your kids to bed, because this ain't gonna be nothing nice.
Everything seemed perfectly set up for Devin to succeed. This wasn't a fight, it was an execution with a completely compromised fighter. He was getting more eyes on him than he ever has before, and an almost equal split of the money, not to mention the extra money he was receiving for Ryan missing weight. And this would surely catapult him into superstardom and get him that Tank fight that he wanted so bad. And all he had to do was destroy a former friend who was at the lowest point in his life. He went in there fully believing that he was gonna knock Ryan out, and that's where he messed up, because in his bid to meet Ryan in the center of the ring like he promised, he ended up the one being wobbled. And instead of realizing that Ryan can't hurt him or was dangerous, he got embarrassed and decided to prove a point and go after that finish like he had an iron jaw. And after several rounds worth of exchanges, Ryan realized that Devin was the one that couldn't hurt him, and he put Devin down 3 times from round 7 and on. And if it was a smaller profile fight with less on the line, it 100% would have ended up being a stoppage. But ultimately, Devin ended up taking the first loss of his professional career by decision. And in trying to take the easy and underhanded way to the biggest win of his life, he ended up taking the biggest loss of his life through the hardest method imaginable. Life's funny like that sometimes. And this wasn't a case of Garcia trolling everyone and actually being in excellent shape. No, he still did all the things that everyone claimed he did. He said so himself in the post-fight press conference.
And still drink every day, and still eat, and I did everything. Hey, what happened? False reality, right? Like every single night, went out on the first Monday and a Tuesday and what happened? I won. He did calm down. Not necessarily am I proud of that, but I'm just saying, this is, it was a statement to show you guys can't really with me. Right. Whatever I want, I still win. He did settle down on Sunday though. That's the bad shit. I don't know.
This was a case of over-eagerness on Devin's part of taking advantage of a former friend and believing that he was much easier prey than he actually was. And now there is no superstardom, no Tank fight, and limited options outside of a rematch with Ryan Garcia, which Ryan doesn't have to grant, by the way, and the ultimate twist of irony would be if Ryan and Tank ended up having a rematch of their own instead. I don't know if I believe in karma, but for those that do, this is about as good as it gets when it comes to proof of its existence.
Paulie Malibu, Timothy Bradley, Chris Algeri, Steve Kim, maybe Mario Lopez, maybe, but they're all pieces of shit. Okay, I told you shit, and I told you that's right. And Ryan proved them wrong. Yeah, Timothy Bradley, somebody.